Very much. It's a pleasure to be here this evening, and thank you, Julia, for your invitation and your advocacy. You've got a tremendous advocate in Harrisburg with her and with her. Let's give her a hand. And I know that she's on the phone with me all the time, finding out just with everybody, and that's how you get things done in Harrisburg. By the way, also, I'm sorry I don't have a hat, but I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm thinking, I just feel like the Frog and the Princess or something like that. It's a wonderful show that you have, and the beautiful young people that are here helping to raise money. Okay, 20 years ago, I had a call from a constituent about Lyme disease. I knew nothing about it, and started to educate myself and advocate for its address. And at that time, these videos we saw of the people that have Lyme disease, and it just like it keeps. It's like a bad movie keeps rolling over and over and over again. At that time, it was a terribly underdiagnosed disease. And it's here we are 20 years later, and still the same thing. It has all the symptoms that it had before, all the results it had before, all the devastation it had before. We were fortunate, my wife and I, because our youngest son contracted Lyme disease about that same time. And only because of the advocates of this disease did we understand what he had. He had a bullseye, a rash, and he had the flu-like symptoms. And we were also fortunate in that we had the head of the infectious disease department of Abington Hospital was familiar with it and diagnosed it, and also immediately treated it with antibiotics. He had recovered, and we were fortunate because of the advocacy. That set me on this path of trying to advocate issues. And you wonder why this has happened. Why are we still dealing with this issue? And no other disease. Where would I have to introduce a bill, Senate Bill 210, again, and a version, and this is a much better one because of your advocates here, a bill over and over again, all those 20 years, 10 legislative sessions, and not every session that I have something like this, and it's still resistance. Why do we have to introduce a bill like this to have people adequately treated in our country? And all I can say is it's just, I have to put it in, it's just lack of information. Lack of confidence, lack of, the medical profession is split now, and at least it's split. Before, we didn't have an awful lot of advocates. Now we do. But why do you have to go out of state to get treatment when you should be here getting treatment by your own physician? So we have a battle in the medical profession many of them oppose us. We have a battle in the insurance industry who either don't believe or don't want to pay. But anyway, the end result is still the same. And that's one of the reasons why I've got involved in politics. This is just an injustice that we've been trying to rectify. The bill, we finally, after we held a hearing, and we thought, well, maybe if we educate the members of the legislature, maybe we could get somewhere that way. And so Julia and many other witnesses, they were just a tremendous hearing on this. It may be on the website, but watch it. And it's just a tremendous presentation, almost unrefuted, of what we're facing. The chairman of the committee was touched by it. And that's why we got the bill out of committee. Now, we didn't get it out of committee with the long-term antibiotic treatment. We didn't do that. or the other issue is protecting the physicians from retribution if they would dare treat someone with Lyme disease. Where has that ever happened in the United States? That's why we need legislation, but we can introduce and pass all the bills like this in the world, but without your advocacy, it doesn't mean anything. It's extremely important what you're involved in and what you do. Educate the public, because once they're educated, there'll be no stopping this legislation. We won't have to worry about whether the doctor will diagnose it. We won't have to worry about whether you can get long-term treatment. We don't have to worry about whether it'll be misdiagnosed. And we're slowly getting there. And your efforts will get us there. One of those things is the resolution. There's a copy of it in the back of the room, a resolution that Julie asked me to introduce, in which we had like 20 co-sponsors on it, to designate Lyme disease Awareness Month of May. It passed a few days ago in the Senate. A copy of it's in the back of the room. It's, if you look at it, it's one of the longest resolutions I've ever introduced. It's about 2 and more pages, and it's got like fine print, and it just has chock full of all kinds of information. Why? Because we take every opportunity we have to educate people, persuade people, inform them about this issue. Once we do that, we can be successful. And it's not like they're not familiar with it. The people on the committee, they have the same situations after they start looking into it. It's not just limited to the Southeast. Yes, Pennsylvania leads the nation in Lyme disease cases. In the last, with 2010, 2011, it looks like the same. And we expect to be right up there, unfortunately, in 2012. So once they start looking at it, it's a statewide issue, not just a Southeast issue, and we're doing that. And so I just wanted to be here this evening to congratulate you on your efforts, to do not be discouraged, that persevere. I found in the legislature, I don't have a lot of good qualities, but one thing I found is that perseverance pays off. Sometimes I've fought for 20 years or 15 years or whatever to get something passed. But once you pass it, there's no stopping it. There'll be no stopping it once we hit that tipping point. And with groups like yours and Julia leading them, you're going to reach that point. And I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. So God bless you on everything that you're doing here today. Thank you.